right? So we found this guy. So now what are we doing with this? Like, so one of the things that he told me is, okay, I'm going after financial advisors, right? Investment people. And I go, okay, how big are the companies? So, well, it's weird because like they work for bigger umbrella organizations, but they're small individual independent owners, operators, right? So they're under a bigger umbrella org. So that's kind of challenging to find those people because if you do a search for the org, you're going to get everybody in the org, right? So if it's Sun Life or if it's whatever, RBC Insurance, you're going to get everybody. You just want people who have their own companies that are, individual sole proprietors, right? So first we pulled up the people based on that search criteria, and I can show you kind of how that search criteria looks. So this is the graph that we built. Looks a little complex. It is a bit. But we look at sources. These are the sources. So 5,000, Quebec, Ontario, financial planner, and these are the keywords I used, right? So that's what we use to build this table. Now in this table, I do a lot of other fancy stuff. So one of the first things he told me is, listen, I don't want anybody from RBC or from blah, 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 because these guys are whatever. They won't be, good for, they're already, he builds a custom dynamic CRM. So he builds a CRM specifically for these people. So if they're part of a larger org, typically they're using the company CRM. So they won't use his solution. That's his justification, right? So basically I built an agent, right? So how does this work is I built an AI agent within this table. So this is the magic, and this is, I select my model. I have what they call an API key, and this is what makes Clay so powerful is you can use what they call Clay credits. So you see here, I have credits here, right? And I get X amount of credits every month. And that's kind of how you spend on Clay. But if you're smart, like you'll use your API keys, and I have API keys because I have an assistant. I built an app, so I have my own API keys. But you can apply for one from OpenAI and get it if you have your own business, right? You can probably get that fairly easily. But what I had it do is I went out and checked the company, right, against the following list of major Canadian banks to find any bank names associated. So then these are the banks that he listed for me. He goes, I don't want to work with any of these people. So I said, okay. So basically then the agent goes out and searches every single one of these people to make sure that they don't have a bank affiliation. And then I filter on this column to make sure that they're not affiliated with any banks. So that's the first step to qualify, right? Next thing is, when you pull, you want to normalize the first and last names because with LinkedIn, you get a lot of this, right? PNG, CFP, all that. You don't want that when you're doing outreach or when you're emailing somebody, right? You don't want that so you got to normalize that. So we use AI. AI will normalize all that for us. It'll get rid of, this one it screwed up. But it'll normally, that's what I said, it's not perfect. But yeah, for the most part, did a pretty good job. Now, the next step is I wanted to look at what did these guys specialize in? And the reason why I wanted to do that is because I want to customize an opening line, right? Because you can send out a generic sounding email and you can target, and it's not too generic because we're very targeted, right? We're targeting these people, targeting people that don't work with the big banks, blah, blah. But you can target further to personalize it so that when they get that email, it feels like you're writing to them, right? That's really powerful. I feel like when you're writing, like I deal with a lot of tech companies and like tech savvy companies, the best thing I can do with AI is trick the person receiving it or let them question whether a human wrote it or whether AI wrote it. As long as he's not 100% sure, I've done my job because I can't really trick somebody 100% anymore, right? So what did I have to do is I had to go out and basically run a bit of research. By the way, I could do this for any of you that are looking for clients or looking to target. I'm going to spin up a free table for you. Just got to reach out, book some time. I'll walk you through this process. We will build you a custom table. I can give, I think, 50, maybe 100 leads with emails, right? Actually, with emails, 50, because there's a cost associated with everything. So, I'm happy to give away, but I can give you 50 emails included, or I can give you 50 mobile phone numbers included, right? And to give that for free for Yes Montreal members and for people interested in signing up with Yes. But yeah, so I create this, visit the company website, ascertain the areas of specialization, the area of focus, their financial service advisory services, and we'll be using it to build a complementary first line to outreach email. So I only want to provide up to 3 points. You really, like, too much information is no good for AI. You want to keep it as simplified as possible so it can only focus on one or two things. Because if you give it too much, it's going to give you too much back, right? Like, so I only pick 3, right? So these guys do whatever, retirement planning, tax planning, blah, blah, blah. So that's great. Now, as you can see here, I didn't use OpenAI because I like the way that Anthropic works better when it writes out stuff, you know. Um, sorry. So we're a Microsoft partner that focuses on building customized versions of Dynamics CRM. So I basically sat down with him to realize, what do you guys do? I don't have to do this. I can usually just plug in their website and they'll do it for me. But I personally prefer to sit down and work with them to say, what's the offer you want to go to for this campaign? Or for these people that you're targeting, what is the service or offering you want to target them for? You don't want to just generically blast out everything you do. We can be hyper targeted because that's my whole thing now for the last year is hyper targeting works, right? Um, so yeah, we built out a customized version of Dynamics CRM, blah, 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 blah. They specialize in automating their expertise, yada, yada, using this knowledge, right? So that's the first part. And by the way, I plugged that into Anthropic to give me this prompt.